I am Sinha. After several weeks of strong bullish momentum, Wall Street finally showed signs of weakness. The S&P 500 declined by 2.59% this week. The Nasdaq 100 fell even more sharply, losing 4.53%, and Russell 2000 dropped 3.46%. For weeks, investors were asking whether the rally could continue. This week, the market finally delivered a different message. Volatility jumped, fear returned, Treasury yields moved up, and geopolitical tensions intensified. So the big question now is this simply a healthy correction inside the larger uptrend, or is Wall Street preparing for something bigger? In today's video, we will decode global market picture, analyze investor sentiments, understand the key macro developments, and finally study the charts of S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Let's begin. Before analyzing the US market, let us quickly see what happened across the world this week. Because when the multiple reasons start showing weakness at the same time, traders should pay attention to it. Let us start with the Europe. The FTSE 100 declined around 0.4% during the week. However, the interesting part is that it formed a pin bar near the important support zone. A pin bar at support often suggests that the buyers are still attempting to defend that particular support level. So while the weekly performance was negative, the price action itself worth monitoring. Now let us look at the Germany's DAX. The DAX fell 1.38%. More importantly, it faced rejection from the key resistance zone. When the markets get rejected near resistance, it often indicates that the buyers are becoming cautious and some profit booking is taking place. Now let's move to Asia. Japan's Nikkei 225 managed to close slightly positive, gaining around 0.39%. However, the index formed a spinning top at the top. A spinning top generally signals indecision in the market. So despite the positive close, momentum appears to be slowing down. Next, the Hang Seng index declined 0.88%, but it formed an inverted hammer near an important support area. This tells us that the sellers pushed the price lower, but the buyers stepped in and prevented a larger decline. Again, an important level to monitor. Finally, South Korea's KOSPI fell sharply by 3.72%. The candlestick formation near the top of the trend suggests increasing selling pressure. This is another sign that risk appetite may be weakening globally. So overall, Europe, Asia, and United States all showed sign of caution this week. And that brings us to market sentiment. Let us look at what investors are feeling right now. The Fear and Greed Index currently stands at 42. That places market sentiment in the fear zone. Just 1 week ago, the reading was 59. 1 month ago, it was 67. So the sentiment has clearly deteriorated over the past week. This doesn't automatically mean markets will crash, but it does tell us that investors have become much more cautious. Now let us examine volatility. The VIX, often called Wall Street's fear gaze, jumped more than 40% this week. This is significant move. Whenever volatility rises sharply, uncertainty increases. And when uncertainty increases, markets often become more sensitive to news, economic data, and geopolitical developments. Interestingly, the VIX is still below the historical upper volatility zone of 28 to 33. But the sharp rise itself is something traders should respect. So the sentiment has weakened, volatility has increased. Let us now understand what happened on macroeconomic front. This week, one of the most important economic reports was US Non-Farm Payroll report. The US economy added approximately 172,000 jobs during May. This was significantly stronger than market expectations. At first glance, strong employment sounds positive. And from economic perspective, it certainly is. A healthy labor market generally indicates economic resilience. However, financial markets often look beyond the headline numbers. A stronger labor market means the economy may not be showing enough for Federal Reserve to aggressively cut interest rate. As a result, expectations for rate cuts weakened. And what was the result? That pushed the Treasury yields higher. The US 10-year Treasury yield moved up to 4.5%. Higher yields can create pressure on growth-oriented sectors, especially technology stocks. That is one reason why Nasdaq 100 underperformed this week if we compare with S&P 500. But there was another factor influencing the markets: geopolitical tensions. Direct military clashes involving US and Iran have intensified. The broader Gulf region remains sensitive because of its importance to global energy supply and trade routes. Whenever geopolitical uncertainty rises, investors tend to become more defensive. So we combine everything together. Sentiment moved into fear, volatility jumped sharply, Treasury yields increased, rate cut expectations weakened, and geopolitical risk remained elevated. Not surprisingly, Wall Street finally experienced a meaningful correction. But now comes the most important part, the price. Because at the end of the day, opinions do not move the market, price does. So let us move directly to the charts for the technical analysis and price action analysis of S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. This is the weekly price chart of S&P 500 index, which finally closed at 7,383.73 this week. Now let us see how it is getting rejected from here. It was a dynamic resistance over here, where earlier also from this rising trend line, which was acting as a dynamic resistance, price got rejected. And now this rejection created a candle, which is a one black crow candlestick pattern. Now there was a parabolic rise. If you do the retracement analysis of this impulsive wave, 38.2% retracement level comes at around in a zone of 6,943 to 7,100. So this becomes the important zone which can be considered as demand area, where there is an intervention of EMA 21, and this was the very big resistance where there was a breakout, and this resistance is also coming in the same zone, which is likely to act as a demand area or support now. So when we see the daily price chart, it has come down below EMA 21. So one possibility is there, it may bounce back from here. Why I am saying so? Because this is an independent impulsive wave, and so the correction has taken place to an extent of around 78.6% retracement level. However, this is a good demand area from 6,943 to 7,100 based on the retracement analysis, and there is an added support of EMA 55, and this the lower band of the support band is nothing but SMA 144. However, the trend of S&P 500 is still bullish. EMA 21 is placed above EMA 55, and slope of all long-term moving averages are inclining up. Now this is the price chart of Nasdaq 100 in weekly time frame, which finally closed at 28,957.6. Do you remember that last week we discussed about the breakout of this bullish flag and the potential target of 61.8% expansion, which was coming at around 30,300, and the price got rejected here? If you recall, then do write a comment that I remember. Now look at this trend line, which was acting as a dynamic resistance. There was a breakout of this line, so this is trading quite in proximity of the dynamic support area. But when we do the retracement analysis of this parabolically risen impulsive wave. The 38.2% retracement level comes at around 27,260 and 50% level comes at approximately this level, which was earlier acting as a resistance, which is 26,381. So 26,381 to 27,268 is the major demand area with a confluence of EMA 21 as well. Now, when we look at the daily price chart, what is the candlestick pattern? It was a bearish kicker candlestick pattern during the last trading session of this week. And here if you see, EMA 55 could potentially act as a dynamic support, which is coming quite in proximity of 38.2% retracement level. So it might have a pierce through action of EMA 55 and also test 38.2% retracement level before the current trend resumes, because the current trend is still intact and EMA 21 is placed above EMA 55 and the slope of long-term moving averages are inclining up. Before we wrap up today's analysis, here is this week's quiz question. Which indicator showed the biggest warning signal this week? Option A, Fear and Greed Index. Option B, VIX, the Volatility Index. Take a moment and submit your response. Was it A or B? Now let us move to this week's homework assignment, because learning happens when we analyze the charts ourselves. Open the chart of Dow Jones Industrial Average Index in daily time frame. Check three things. First, the current value of EMA 21. Second, how the price is behaving around EMA 21. And the third, demand zone between 50,000 and 50,250. Then answer this question in the comments. Do you think buyers will defend 50,000 to 50,250 demand zone, or is a deeper correction is more likely? Most importantly, explain your reasoning using price action and exponential moving average 21 period. I look forward to reading your analysis. Keep watching the videos, keep learning, practice on the charts.